Okay, guys, let's go to week 12 NFL betting model projections. I will share my predicted score for each game. And right now, my betting model is 19 wins, 11 losses, win rate 63.33%, with profit 6.51 units, and ROI or yield plus 21.70%. So what I'm doing, I simply predict the score of the game and then I compare with bookmaker spreads and the totals. Okay, I have my criteria, which is 7 points difference. So if there is 7 point difference, then this is considered a qualified bet. Last week I had two qualified bets: Bills -7, Vikings plus 2.5, both winning bets, and let's go to today's projections, not today's, but this week's projections. I hope you can find these numbers useful. And of course, if you want to learn from me how to use simple spreadsheets for your betting analysis, simply go to underdogchance.com and that's it. Okay, so this week I didn't find any qualified bet based on my criteria, but there are three games where it is very close to my criteria. Okay, but of course, if you make your own analysis, you should also consider your factors into this. And if I will decide later to add something, probably among those three games, then I will add below in the comment. But again, I would not wait until the game starts, because then you will have negative closing line. And in NFL, which is the one of the sharpest betting market in the world, you don't want to be on the wrong side of the bet, no matter how confident you are in your analysis, because the closing line will represent the most efficient or true probability. And I hope we are not delusional that we have better probabilities than the closing line, because the game in sports betting is not who is more right, but who is less wrong. If you know this concept, then you can make smarter bets and more strategic betting. Okay, but this is something I will talk about this some other time. Okay, so let's go to projections for week 12. First game, Green Bay against Detroit. Based on my predicted score, you see this here: 22.64 points for Green Bay, 28.83 for Detroit. This is projected totals. I simply sum those two numbers and I get this number, right? And to get the spreads, I simply subtract this number from this number. So I get the spread for Detroit and I get the spread for Green Bay Packers if I subtract Detroit Lions points versus Green Bay Packers. Okay, so this number minus this number is this number, and this number minus this number is this number, and this is how I get the spreads. Okay, and of course, the question is how you project the scores. Of course, there are different betting models, much more complex betting models, simple betting models, but I think it is crucial that you get your numbers before you make bets, unless you try to guess, which is something I don't recommend in the long run. Okay, so as you see, my projected spread -6 on Detroit, bookmakers -7.5. It is less than 2 points difference. It is basically less than 1.5 difference, and this is not good enough. When it comes to the totals, it is around 5 point difference, maybe small lean with over in this game. But right now, when there will be winter, you should also check probably weather later. If there will be snow, I don't know what will happen in next month. I don't have included weather in this betting model because this is always a tricky thing. But again, with your analysis, you can adjust the spreads a little bit because of this too. Okay, so based on my projections, there's no value in this game. Washington, Dallas. I have Dallas at -17.33, bookmakers -11. So there is small value with Dallas to cover -11. So I have Dallas, let's say, at 2 touchdowns, bookmakers at touchdown and 3 points or a little bit more. So this is this is around 6.3 difference, right? So it is close to be qualified bet. So strongly in with Dallas Cowboys, but I would stick with with the rules and the strategy. San Francisco, Seattle, my line on San Francisco minus 9.91, bookmakers minus 7, too close. Dolphins, Dolphins against New York Jets. My line on Jets plus 8.21, bookmakers plus 10. Maybe small lean with Jets to cover this plus 10. Jaguars against Houston. My line and bookmakers lines are basically the same. Tampa Bay, Indianapolis. I have Indianapolis at minus 0.66, bookmakers minus 2.5, which suggests that maybe Tampa Bay is slightly underrated in this game. New England Patriots against Giants. My line minus 1.71 on New England. Bookmakers have them at minus 3.5. So small lean with Giants as a home underdog at plus 3.5. Carolina against Tennessee. Based on my projections, Tennessee should be at minus 6. Bookmakers minus 4. So small lean with Tennessee. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. I have Cincinnati at minus 3.72. Bookmakers have them at plus 1. So there is small value with home underdog, I believe, at least based on my numbers. But I would be a little bit, I would still be more selective. Okay. Saints, Atlanta Falcons, my lines and bookmakers lines are basically the same. Maybe small lean to under 42.5. Los Angeles Rams, Arizona Cardinals. I have Rams at minus 3.62, bookmakers plus 1. I hope I didn't make a mistake here. So plus 1 minus 1, I think this is correct, right? So small lean, when I say mistake, maybe I put wrong bookmakers lines, but the most important thing is this one. So basically the only two numbers you need are those numbers, okay? Everything else is dependent based on your bookmaker, and you can simply calculate from these two numbers the totals and spreads, right? So based on these projections, maybe small value with Los Angeles Rams plus 1. Cleveland Denver, there is a value with Cleveland plus 2.5, at least based on my projections. Still not good enough. So this game will be played on Sunday, I think. So maybe until Thursday, if we can get Cleveland Browns at plus 3.5, I believe, plus 3 or 3.5, then this might be qualified bet. If I decide to go with Cleveland, I will post it below. But at this moment, it is not qualified. Baltimore Ravens, Chargers, minus 4, minus 4. This is not qualified. Chicago Bears against Minnesota Vikings. I have Minnesota minus 10, bookmakers minus 4. So there is some discrepancy. So maybe this number should be a little bit bigger or smaller if I'm more precise. So minus 5, minus 6. If this number is not correct, should be a little bit closer to this one, but something in the middle. I think maybe there is some value with minus 4. Okay, so we have 3 games. So Minnesota Vikings minus 4, Cleveland Browns plus 2.5, and I think we have here this one, right? Dallas Cowboys minus 11. So those 3 games are close to be qualified bets, but they are still not 7-point difference. Okay, I'm looking for 7-point difference. This is for the whole season. So you set the strategy, stick to the strategy. Don't make let's say stupid bets. Sometimes you can be flexible with your betting strategy, but it is usually better to stick to your rules that you set before the season starts, whatever you bet. Also, when it comes to making goals, making profits, and then pulling that money out. If you look at sports betting as an investment, so if you set the goal, I don't know, whatever it is, and then when you reach that goal, you take the money, and you do this with every single sport, reinvest profits in other assets, and this is how you start creating a snowball with sports betting. So not just making decisions that are based on emotions and hype when everything is doing fine, because things will also go bad. If you bet for, I don't know, 5, 10, 20 years, things will go bad as well. And if you have the strategy, if you are disciplined, then this can save you. Okay, so of course this is just how I saw it, uh, how I do it, and this is also my recommendation, but I don't want to give you advice about this, so you can do whatever you want, right? And as I said, I hope that my numbers can help you. And if you want to learn to make projections, to use betting spreadsheets so you don't just guess when you make bets, go to underdogchance.com. And that's it for me today. I wish you good luck and see you next week.